In a recent blog post for the International Monetary Fund, researchers discussed their work studying the relationship between the finance and tech industries. And they also imagined where they could see that relationship going in the future. And one idea they bring up is pretty alarming, because they say that in the future it could very well make sense to tie someone's internet browsing history to their credit score. Yeah, that's right. All the things you look up online, all the sites you visit, all the weird crap you read about and look at and consider buying, in the future, financial institutions could have access to all of that information and use it to decide whether or not they should lend you money. In the post, the researchers acknowledge the growing threat of sites like Google and Apple and Facebook to the traditional banking system. And so they're kind of saying, big tech is going to be a player in the financial sector, whether banks like it or not, so they might as well start embracing it now, although they should do so cautiously, they warn. And one of the big advantages they see tech companies having right now is access to what they call soft data points, which are things like what browser you use and what your history of online searches is. They say those kinds of data points allow tech companies to build a more intimate relationship with borrowers, and because of that, they might be more inclined to give them more slack and lend them more money. It's kind of like they're saying tech companies get to know people better than banks do these days, and because of that, they have a more personal relationship and might trust them more. It's like they know more about you, so they might feel more comfortable lending you money. So the researchers see financial institutions using your browsing history to determine whether or not to lend you money as a good thing. They think it'll only serve to help people because, as we all know, financial institutions, along with big tech, only have your best interest in mind. Now to me, that sounds like a load of crap, but I'm certainly not going to be Googling anything about it, that's for sure. No, I'll just stick to Googling stuff about aliens, like I always do. But in general, we should all be a little more careful about what we look at on the internet from now on, if we care about participating in society. Because pretty much everyone agrees that it will be used against us more and more the more technological we become as a society. Whether that's right or wrong is kind of moot, because that seems to be the way we're heading, no matter what.
We have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action.
What we want to do in Davos this year in this respect is to push the reset button.
History would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset.
The next time someone tells us that tackling climate change is either too costly or too difficult, I think we need to remind them and remind ourselves of what just is happening right now.
Treat the climate crisis like you treat any other crisis.
It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world.
We not only have to demand change, but also create change.
And then we need to couple that with new initiatives to equip more people with the digital skills they'll need not just to have a tech job, but a job that is increasingly tech-enabled in almost every part of the economy.
At the start of the pandemic, working from home might have felt like a welcome change. Now, with longer days and less interaction, some employees are starting to feel burnt out.
Some employers are turning to software to monitor what their employees are doing all day long.
You need private sector capital, private sector ingenuity, private sector technology, and private sector capabilities to come to the party.
This morning, a mind-boggling report on layoffs. More than 6.6 million Americans filing new claims for unemployment insurance last week, the largest number in a single week ever.
We will now start a quite high number of task forces to look at all the different issues, and we will present all those ideas to the people assembled in Davos.
And just like that, everything in the world is made right and pure again. The Great Reset. What could be simpler?